big thing that happened in the month of January, like starting the year. Uh, so Wall Street bets came around. So, Philip, can you introduce all of that? Because I know you look more into the
Okay.
financial side of things.
Okay. So Wall Street Bets, even everyone from young to old has heard about this over the past 2 weeks. Essentially, they are a group of people. They call themselves the degenerates, right? And they're a group of people who are the essential, like who are the common people. Uh, And by the way, I just need to clarify, they call themselves degenerates because that's like their that's the group's name. Like everyone that joins, about 8 million people are part of it, right? Uh, that's why they call and that's like the name they have for the server. So just wanted to clarify that.
I thought you called them
Uh,
degenerates. I was about to
yeah,
say.
I know because I am part of them. I'm not gonna call myself one, right? So, Wall Street Bets was a group created back in 2012, and they've been around for a long time. Just a group of normal people, the common people, right? The low class, lower class, the middle class, folks who have some extra money lying around and that are willing to risk it for all, right? For the meme. That's their main thing. So they're after the meme. They're not educated investors. They're not people who sit and read the graph from morning to night, right? They're just folks with their own jobs that just do this for the memes on the side. And statistically they're known for losing minimum $50,000 per month or per year. I'm not sure which it is, but it's a big amount to lose, right? For a group that were about like that grew to around 1 million users till December of 2020. And then Jan comes, a company called GameStop was set to go bankrupt after this quarter. So they decided to uh, invest everything they had, like this group, right? Invest everything they had, and they started seeing profits because what essentially happened is hedge funds uh, went in and shorted it, right? Because shorting basically is that you make money when the stock drops, right? And GameStop was a big company back in the days with the new consoles, with the new devices, PC users, and everything coming out, and relying on the online gaming platforms rather than disc platforms, right? Uh, the companies obviously started dying out because that was their main income source. So knowing that the company was going to go bankrupt, all the hedge funds and the multi-billionaires shorted it so that they would make money. And this group called Wall Street Bets decided to go against them and to buy the shares, right? So that in essence, what's happening is you're fighting against the shorts. So that way the billionaires and the hedge funds cannot make any income. And they started seeing profits. One of the records was like a guy invested around $53,000, and within 2 days, that turned into 47 million American
Jesus.
dollars.
What?
Right? That's money. That's money people can work the entire life and never see.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously, success sees a common man sees this, or common person sees this, and they also want to be part of the meme, right? Something called fear of missing out is also there, FOMO, right? So in essence, what happened is about 1 million users turned into about 8 million users within the last week and a half to 2 weeks, right? And GameStop went from around $17 per stock to a range of 350, like a balance of 350, and it has even peaked up to $500 at times. So yeah, that's basically what has really been happening for the past week to 2 weeks.
Wait, my question. Why did they specifically target GameStop again?
Okay, so when you look into stocks, there's two different types of stocks. There's multiple different types of stocks, but the main common thing that most people know are something called penny stocks, right?
Uh-huh.
Uh, penny stocks in essence is anything that's like small digits, right? That
Mhm.
like you wouldn't be hesitant to go and invest into a penny stock because you know that you don't care about the $2 you might lose or the $6 you might lose, right? Whereas a Tesla stock is not a penny stock because after the split, one of the stocks is worth around $850, $860, right? If you buy a full set of share, right, of Tesla stock, it will cost you 3,000 plus,
My
right?
word.
That's not money most common people have just lying around. That's most people's monthly or by like 2 months worth of salary in most cases, right? So, um, So that's why mainly GameStop was targeted, and also like the shorting. This is GameStop was the only company in the history of Wall Street to be shorted this much, right, and to be bought out this much. So what happened is they had, I think it was 5 or 6 days ago, like last Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, GameStop hit the record for the highest amount of share volumes uh, in the history of Wall Street. So that was like a record-breaking thing too.
Okay, so what now? Like what? Okay,
What
so
now?
is the value of GameStop still like up there? Because
Okay, no.
if
See,
it
what
is, a
happens
lot of
is
my
when you
friends could make a lot of money because they still have a lot of games they need to trade.
Okay, so what happens now is, see, like the way stocks work is a company basically has to be doing well for the stock to be worth a certain amount, right? Tesla obviously is doing well. That's why even after a split, their stock is 800 something dollars, right?
Right.
Apple is doing well, right? These are all trillion-dollar companies that are doing amazing for them, right? Amazon and so on, all those companies. Whereas when a company is not doing well, right? That's when the stock starts to fall, right? That in essence shows investors that the company is not going to succeed, right? That's what showed the hedge fund investors that the company was going to go bankrupt, right? And even GameStop came out to say that they were going to announce bankruptcy, right? Which would literally shut down the entire company. GameStop would no longer exist after mid 2021,
Mhm.
right? That was the plan. So what happened is all that shorting happened, right? So by people betting against it, they were technically just injecting millions of dollars into the company that was dying, right?
Hmm.
So obviously that rose the share price, right? But the minute everyone sells their shares, the company is gone.
Yeah.
Like this company has no hope. That's for sure. This company is not gonna last, right? It's the meme factor, right?
Uh-huh.
People are in it for the quick money. The people who invested 53,000 made 50 million, right? The people who invested $17 made $350, right? Or $400 whenever they decided to sell it. The longer you hold, right, the more money you get. But there's a time limit to the hold. Can't Holding it past like for the next 6 months is not going to get you any money because people will start cashing out, right? Will start selling. The hold period is still end of this week because the shorts options, right? Options are what it's called. So you can either long a stock or you can short a stock, right? These options are going to expire by Thursday, the last set of options. But that would require the hedge funds to pay back the banks, right? Because technically they're gambling with money that does not exist, right? You're saying that I believed a GameStop stock will go down to $4 in the next 3 months, right? So you pay a premium, and when it goes down to $3, the bank will pay you the difference, right? That's how you make money. But now what's happening is these billionaires set scales like that, but instead of going down to $0 or $4 or $2, it went back up to $400.
That's a lot
So
of
now
money
what's happening?
gone.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's billions of dollars that's going, right? Because hedge fund investors are not calling in $10 or $10 million or $50 million or $100 million bets. They're calling in billions. That's how hedge funds make their money, right?
Hmm.
So they, in essence, have to pay back, and you can't just be like, "I'll pay you back like another time," right? There's a time period, and the longer they keep from not paying back, they have to pay interest on those billions, right? So, and now the SEC, right, which is the stock exchange, like the regulator for the Wall Street, right, is also investigating because you guys might have heard apps like Robinhood and a couple other apps, right, started regulating on their own, which legally they're not allowed to do because they are not the SEC, right? They're private companies that are just platforms for trading, and things started coming out which was not supposed to come out, right? That was like kept in secret, I guess. And companies even one hedge fund went bankrupt, right? You guys might have heard about Melvin.
Oh yeah,
And
Melvin.
Citadel is now Citadel bought out Melvin because out of nowhere they just had millions coming in. Because what actually is happening is that Citadel kind of owns um Robinhood, because Robinhood is trying to get their IPO up, right? So they were a startup formed by like a couple youngsters, right? I think it was like 3 or 4 youngsters a few years ago, and it became the number one used platform for trading in America. It's an American app, right? And uh, obviously, when you're not billionaires or multi-millionaires, right, you need bigger companies to invest into you so that you can get your starting capital and all this and that. So you get tied down as you go down the way, right? That's what happened with Robinhood. And Robinhood came out to like they can't say we were forced by Citadel to do this, but reading among between the lines and like seeing the full picture, right? You know for a fact that all these companies that regulated the stocks, right, were forced to do that by these big hedge funds and big banks that are like funding these things.
Totally. Oh my god.
It's a lot. See, like I jumped over a lot
Mhm.
because like stocks and Wall Street bets, the regular Wall Streets, the hedge funds are conversations we can have for hours and hours, and there will be no end to it because things these people do is just mind-boggling, and sometimes you even wonder like what are you doing with your life? Because what basically is happening is that you paying tax, right? It's just funding and injecting money into these companies, right? And you might be making $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $400,000, right? You're still not part of the 0.1% or the top 1% in the world, right? But you are funding the 1% in the world by paying taxes and all these different things. And at the end of the day, all these companies control the government because we live in a corporate world, especially America.